All right, guys, welcome. Today's video, we're going to talk about homeostasis equals longevity. This is going to be an interesting topic, and I think we should start out with why we're going to talk about this in the first place. If you look around, we are full of people metabolically sick. In fact, most of the people around us are in metabolic syndrome. And what is that? It's obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and high triglycerides. 80% of people have this in the United States. They may look good. Even the Ozempic people, they're sick as well because they haven't achieved homeostasis. So what is homeostasis? That's the buzzword. That's what you should try to achieve when you're thinking about what are my goals as a living being. And it's to achieve homeostasis. So homeostasis is the body's ability to regulate itself with minimal intervention. And it can do that. It can grow. It just needs to be watered and fed. But you got to watch what you water it with, and you got to watch what you feed it with. And you got to watch where the organism is. We've become domesticated. In the past, we weren't supposed to be living indoors under lights in the shade. We've been told to get out of the sun. Well, this is wrong. This isn't how you were environmentally designed. Now, if we could have rapid mutations to adjust quickly to this, maybe this is possible to live in the middle of the earth, live in space. But this takes time, and the body can't adapt that fast. So, but it can reach homeostasis if you let it. So why do I say homeostasis equals longevity? Think about all the individuals or people that you see that are out of homeostasis, that are obese, chronically sick, you name it. Those are all out of homeostasis. How long do they live? Not very long. What's their quality of life? Sucks. So, I've entered into this journey because I was metabolically sick. I'm Dr. Mark Giovanini. I had metabolic issues. I was in metabolic syndrome. So, a lot of my friends said, I have a ton of really well-respected physician friends that they say, well, where do you start? So, I'm an internet junkie, so I started looking on YouTube and all these things. And there's a ton of good information out there, but most of it leads you away from homeostasis. So let's use a few examples of homeostasis. And so everyone knows what type 2 diabetes is. I'm not going to use type 1 because it has genetic implications, but there's some thinking now that that's not correct. But let's just use type 2. Because probably everyone has pre-diabetes. I mean, I did. My fasting insulin levels were high, and I was under 100, but for my glucose levels, but it was marginal, and that was fasting. So I was there in the bad zone. So insulin resistance is an example of how the body gets out of homeostasis. So when the body consumes sugar or carbohydrates or whatever, high in carbohydrates or sugar or high refined sugar, tells the body to release insulin. And for a while, that's okay. I mean, I dated a girl that all she ate was sugar and she was thin as a rail, but in the end, your receptors are gonna die. It's gonna be hard to get out of, and then you're gonna go into a massive metabolic problem. So the thing is, so when you're constantly over-consuming food and it's high in refined sugar or carbohydrates, you're basically overstimulating your insulin receptors. And so the amount of insulin required keeps going up and up and up, and it's bashing on these receptors. Well, over time, these receptors, just like anything, wears out. So unless you replace the receptors or do something different, modulate this, you're going to fall into type 2 diabetes. And the reason you get fat is because it has to store. The easiest way for the body to store this unwanted sugar is to put it in places where it's not needed. And that's where fat accumulates. It's not going to put it in the heart. It can't do it. The heart can't function that way. So it doesn't immediately go into organs that are required for constant functioning. It's going in a place of dormancy, i.e. fat. So that's a good example. So how do you fix that? Decrease the frequency of sugar intake, decrease your consumption, change your body's physiology to make more lipid oxidation rather than carbohydrate oxidation or metabolism. So that's one example. Second example, great example. This is nature's example. You can't refute it. Which is so funny because I'm going to get a bunch of crap on this. Let's talk about testosterone. Okay. My journey, I used it slightly because I was in metabolic syndrome. I needed a jump start. I was extremely low. But then as I got rid of the fat and got my body composition to 9% body fat, got rid of the visceral fat, I required no exogenous testosterone, and my levels at 62 are 650 total and 11 free with a normal sex hormone binding globulin. Watch all the hate come on that one. Oh, it's too low. No, it's not too low. I'm in homeostasis. I don't have gynecomastia. I'm not getting alopecia. My hair is actually growing back. So that's nature's way. So what happens? You take too much testosterone. Over time, it shuts down your own body's production of testosterone to some extent, and it overstimulates the receptors. So over time, you're going to need more and more to produce the effect that you want, but you're going out of homeostasis. Why is that a problem? Okay, so too much testosterone, it can't convert everything to dihydrotestosterone. So there's two pathways. There's one to dihydrotestosterone and there's one to estrogen. When it's had enough, it goes to estrogen. The estrogen causes gynecomastia. It causes, well, we're not going to go there yet. It causes gynecomastia and these unwanted. So then they put you on a estrogen blocker, and guess what? You get more dihydrotestosterone. Well, what's the effect of that? Yeah, it grows more muscles, more body hair, but the reason you go bald is because it's overstimulation of the receptors in the scalp, and it causes the receptors to die in the scalp. So it's nature's way of saying you have too much testosterone. I don't think all these numbers being thrown out, people say from 397 to 1500. I mean, guys, what's the point? If you're not utilizing all that, it's actually damaging your ability to process these things. So my example with the testosterone is this. When I've transformed and I lost all the weight and did everything right, my testosterone levels went back to normal. Now, to maintain that, I have to work out every day. I do resistance training, I do eccentric weight training, and I maintain my nutrients. But we're going to do this on the next video about building a foundation. So that's the second example of going away from homeostasis. And then the third example, let's talk about nutrition. There's these carnivores, the vegans, and then in between. So what's the reality? I did carnivore to start because it's easy. It's super easy. I mean, there's nothing easier, and it's straight from, the farm to the mouth. So that's probably the reason it becomes the more healthy, in the interim, healthy choice, or the easy way to lose the weight. But I would say that you cannot get all your nutrients that way, despite what all these people are saying, because these animals are a product of the soil, and our soil is damaged. So unless you have regenerative farming and that kind of thing, these animals are as sick as we are, and it's all in the micronutrients. And we'll go into that later. Then we got the vegan people. I tried that for a bit. The protein's kind of hard to digest, but I'm certain with evolution this will improve. But the problem's there to get enough nutrients. I don't think it's too hard. And I think you need to meet in the middle, and the answer is, from Michael Pollan, The Omnivore's Dilemma, we're omnivores. We should eat like omnivores. And so that's an example of homeostasis right there. Meet in the middle is what I'm trying to say. There's some jump starts. Yes, it's okay to take testosterone to get your level up and then get in shape, but then start backing off. That's what I did, and I'm on 0 now. No testosterone, normal levels, normal activities, normal heart, normal lungs, normal everything, because I'm in homeostasis. So the next few videos, we're going to talk about building your foundation, building an exercise program, building a lifestyle socially, interacting and aligning with people that align with your goals. And everyone's goal maybe someone wants to go to Mr. Olympia. Sure, do it, go. But you got to understand the health choices. And hopefully I'll have one of my bodybuilder friends on to talk about that. And he's very open about this. And he's a big time bodybuilder. And he'll tell you he's not healthy. But this is what he wants to do. So that's great. So long as you understand what you want to do, that's fine. And I just want people to understand, all these people out there, pushing HRT and all this. Yeah, it's fine temporarily. No medicine was made for chronic use. None. It was supposed to help jumpstart or get rid of a situation, and nothing's cured that. It's only made things worse. So, homeostasis equals longevity. Let's get on board.